This is TOEFL IBT speaking test, and this test evaluates your ability to communicate in English in an academic setting. It consists of 4 tasks. Task 1, express an opinion on a familiar topic. Listening prompt, conversation between 2 students. Woman: Hey, did you hear about that new study lounge they're planning to open in the library basement? Man: Yeah, I just read the announcement. I think it's a great idea, especially with how packed the library gets during finals week. Sometimes you can't even find a chair. Woman: Exactly. And group work is the worst in that main area. You feel like everyone is listening to your conversation. Man: Totally. I like that they're including soundproof rooms. It's going to help a lot with those awkward group discussions. Plus, staying open until midnight? That's perfect for me. I usually study better at night anyway. Woman: Same here. I usually end up at that coffee shop down the street just because there's nowhere else quiet late at night. But it gets noisy and expensive. Man, right? This new lounge sounds like it'll be way better. My only worry is whether they'll actually include enough charging outlets. Every time I'm in the library, I see people fighting over the few that work. Woman: That's a good point. Hopefully they learned from that. But overall, I think this is a smart move. I just hope they stick to the schedule and finish on time. Man: Yeah, fingers crossed. We could definitely use that extra space. Listening prompt, lecture excerpt. A sociology professor says, to better understand cultural lag, let's look at the example of drone technology. When drones were first introduced, they were mainly used by hobbyists for aerial photography and recreational flying. But quickly, they became tools for businesses, like package delivery, farming, and even filmmaking. The technology evolved so rapidly that governments didn't have time to create clear rules or safety guidelines. For instance, there were cases where drones flew over people's backyards or near airports, raising major concerns about privacy and public safety. But because there were no established regulations in place, law enforcement didn't always know how to respond. It took several years, and in some places it's still ongoing, for lawmakers to create rules about where drones can fly, how high, and under what circumstances. This time gap, where society struggled to respond to the new technology, is what we call cultural lag. The drones themselves were ready to use, but our social systems and institutions weren't prepared for their consequences. Listening prompt, extended lecture excerpt. An anthropology professor says, in many traditional societies, storytelling is much more than just entertainment, it's actually a primary method of education, especially in cultures that don't rely on written language. Through stories, elders pass down essential information to younger generations, covering topics like survival, social behavior, and moral values. Take the San people of southern Africa, for instance. Their oral stories often feature animals as characters and are rich with lessons. One common tale describes a clever jackal that escapes danger by working with others. While it's an engaging story, it also teaches children the importance of cooperation, resourcefulness, and trust, qualities essential for survival in a harsh desert environment. These stories also include practical knowledge. For example, some folk tales describe how certain animals behave before a drought or where specific plants grow during dry seasons. Children who listen to these stories multiple times come to memorize these details, which are crucial for finding food and water. In the absence of books or formal schooling, repetition of oral stories helps embed this knowledge deeply. And because the stories are enjoyable and told in familiar social settings, children are more likely to remember them and pass them on. In this way, storytelling acts as both a memory tool and a cultural bridge between generations.
definitely prefer to live in a place with 4 distinct seasons because I enjoy the variety and rhythm they bring to the year. Each season offers something unique, like cozy evenings and snow in winter, vibrant foliage and cool breezes in autumn, fresh flowers and mild weather in spring, and sunny days perfect for outdoor activities in summer. These changes give me a natural sense of time passing and keep life from feeling monotonous. I also find that seasonal traditions, like apple picking in the fall or hiking in the spring, create lasting memories and make daily life more meaningful. In contrast, a constant climate might feel too repetitive and limit those seasonal experiences that I really look forward to. Answer: the man supports the university's plan to convert the basement of the library into a new study lounge. He thinks it's a really smart and helpful idea, especially because the current library gets extremely crowded during midterms and finals. According to him, it can be frustrating to even find a seat sometimes. He also likes that the new space will be open until midnight, since he tends to study more effectively at night and struggles to find a quiet place during those hours. Another reason he supports the plan is that the new lounge will provide both group and individual work areas, which means students can collaborate without disturbing others. However, he does express a small concern. He hopes the university installs enough outlets for charging laptops, since that's a common issue in the current study areas. Overall, he believes this new lounge will reduce stress for students and improve the overall study environment on campus. Cultural lag is a sociological concept that describes the delay between technological advancements and the changes in society's non-material culture, such as laws, values, and social norms. The professor uses the example of drone technology to explain this. When drones first became widely available, people started using them for many purposes, like aerial photography, recreational flying, and even package delivery. However, the legal systems and government regulations were not prepared for these new uses. There were no clear rules about important issues like privacy, airspace restrictions, or safety measures. Because of this, there was confusion and concern about how drones should be controlled and monitored. It took several years for most countries to develop appropriate laws and regulations. This time gap, between the rapid development of drone technology and society's slower response in creating rules, is what the professor calls cultural lag. Traditional storytelling plays a crucial role as an educational tool in societies that do not have written language. According to the professor, the San people of southern Africa use stories told by elders to pass down important knowledge and cultural values. These folktales teach children about real dangers in their environment, such as dangerous animals, and also emphasize the importance of cooperation and community for survival. The stories often include practical advice, like how to find food and water during difficult times. Because the stories are repeated many times in social settings, children remember the lessons well. This method not only helps preserve their culture but also ensures that essential survival skills and moral values are passed on effectively from generation to generation.